Fucking Einstein on the cameras.
I'm about to blow. I gotta stay on my hustle, you know that I'm grinding for sure. I came up right from the bottom, now they see me chasing my goals. Now they see me on the go, yeah. Now they see me on the road. It's time to hustle, yeah, it's time to grow. I'ma shoot for the stars and we aim for the gold. It's time to hustle, yeah, it's time to grow.
Kia ora, we are live. Welcome back to Hustlers. You like that one?
Whoa, that's good, eh?
It's hissing, bro.
It tastes like health in a glass. I'm healthy.
Arepa. Some have compared it to God's juice,
Oh, yo.
God's piss, liquid gold in a
It's right
bottle.
up there. It's right up there, definitely.
Pull your mic in, bro. Talk a bit closer to that mic.
definitely right up. Hey, look, it's been a minute, since I've done one of these. So,
Yeah.
have to excuse.
Feel like I'm going to have to keep reminding you, bro.
Oh, Joe Rogan has to do it all the time, right?
He does, actually.
Shout out to Joe.
Because, I'm like Joe, so...
Oh, yo, drop a like there if you're watching, Joe.
Same sort of audience. 24 calories, bro.
That is good.
Good for the rig.
They got one with vodka in it?
We were talking about this, actually. When you're on the piss, if you just, like, tip this into, like, your alcohol, does that just, like, take away the negative effects of alcohol?
Or does it balance it? Because it's like one's nutrient dense and one's not.
Processed sugar-free, caffeine-free, brain drink for mental clarity, and I guarantee you, 100% hand on heart, it works. I've used it in stressful times,
Oh, yo.
and I don't even use it for the taste. The taste is a bonus. I use it as like a supplement, and it's hissing, bro. You smack it about 20 minutes before you're about to do anything. The effects last about 4 hours, bro. It's literally like that movie where what's that movie where Limitless.
Oh.
It's like a Limitless, bro.
Don't tell me that.
Straight up, bro. It's like a Limitless. Bro, honestly.
True.
When you smack it before potties too, bro, you just think clearer during podcasts.
We'll see what happens.
You know when things sort of go away from your mind while you're
fog.
talking and you forget.
Yeah.
This helps you to not do that. And a guy that jumped on the podcast once with me that used it, he used a good analogy, and he was like, if I had a list of things to do in a day, this gives me the tunnel vision to do it.
Ah, yeah.
So he gets it done, and he doesn't fuck around like jumping on his phone and shit like that.
focus.
Yeah. So click the link.
Would probably be something. Sorry, yeah.
Carry on.
Plug.
Click the link in the description, or use discount code 138 online, and you get 20% off.
100%.
That is fucking outstanding. 20% off. Use promo code 138 online. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was gonna say that's probably good for me. So I'm like a high energy person.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to like stay focused on things for 10 minutes or longer.
I'm the same, bro. Yeah.
So I just have to kind of like get up and go do something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
This will help you, bro.
I want to have a try of that. Actually.
Well, you actually get a free box for jumping on the podcast, as I've mentioned.
Yeah,
so
I saw that.
That's your first go.
Oh.
Try that out, and if you're hooked, use the code and jump back on.
I definitely will. I am. So the other thing that I didn't know, because I thought this was just juice, but it's actually fizzy.
Yeah.
I
So there's
fizzy
two.
drinks. Oh, true.
Yeah. So I don't think I have any of the other one in there at the moment, but the normal one's called the performance one, which, to be fair, is the one I noticed the biggest impact with.
Okay.
The sparkling's just like a lighter version, less. The performance one's more like thick and it tastes sweeter.
Yeah.
It's like quite a sweet
Syrupy
Ribena. Yeah,
thing.
kind of. Yeah. So
Like add it to water.
pretty much. Some people actually do the like shot. There's like shots you can get the shots, and some people just have a shot of it.
True.
But yeah, it's hissing, bro. But this is I like that refreshing.
I don't like shots, but maybe in the future.
So thank you, Arepa, my guys, for sponsoring the podcast and for staying on board with us. They're through to the end of this year as well.
And
so.
thanks for the free box.
Exactly.
Bro, that is pretty mean.
Bro.
Okay, can I go now? Or?
Run me through. You've had a lot of changes going on in life at the moment.
Yeah.
So what do things look like for you now?
At the moment, I am doing online training. So I've got people doing like programs like yourself.
Yeah.
Doing that that program at the moment. And then people are running through kind of like my general program that I just offer to people that don't really want to pay extra for personalized stuff. And then I have PTs, and I'm running classes out of my like home gym. Bro, that's crazy. I think like when you go like what people call like bootstrap or bare minimum, it's really interesting to see what you'll do to just make things work.
Yeah.
You know, because I have no other sources of income. This is it.
Yeah.
My partner doesn't have a job. She does a little bit of her own like side hustle business as well.
Yeah.
But we're like all in on this.
Sure.
And we have nothing else. So yeah. So we're just kind
survival
of
mode. Have you heard of survival? That's exactly. We talked about this yesterday, bro.
Oh, cool.
On the podcast, he said when people ask him for advice on coming into real estate and starting, he reckons his biggest advice to them every time is sell everything you've got, and then go into real estate.
Burn your boats.
And he's like, just go. Yeah, burn the boats, bro. Exactly it.
So that's what we've done. So we've burned the boats, and we're just trying to just make things bigger. But the cool thing has been, because we've made a lot of friends along the way, we're getting a lot of support from all areas.
Yep.
So, and the thing is, when you keep good relationships, you will find other areas that you didn't know people were actually a part of.
Yeah.
So people will be like more into business than what you knew, or have real estate connections or whatever it is. And then when you go to do your own business, you know, you can pull on all those things, and they'll be willing to kind of help you with that stuff as well, especially if you create these good relationships. So as I've like gone through the industry, it's kind of leaned further away from like the product and the service and more about like how I work with people.
Okay.
And that was kind of like a big thing that I did with you as well, was like you come into, I was working before, and I was like, I could see the kind of potential if I could like create some kind of relationship with you. So I was kind of like, oh well, you know, like I'll just put a little bit more energy to this person. Yeah. And then like, you know, it's kind of ended me up quite well, because like now I'm able to kind of train you. Yeah. We've built a relationship of trust with that area. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'll get some stuff out of doing this kind of podcast with you. Yeah. In terms of like getting some eyes on me and my stuff. But then it's like a more of a symbiotic relationship, because you know people see me work with you, they want to look at your stuff, and
for sure.
I think that if you are someone that's looking to become like your own business person, you really, really need to lean into those relationships that you will see there's a benefit from this relationship. Yeah. And you have to be genuine about it as well. Yeah. So I won't create relationships with people I don't have a genuine interest in as well. Yeah, so...
Authenticity, bro.
Yeah, authenticity, yeah.
But that's something that is so fucking obvious, eh? Like when someone's bullshitting you, or when someone's fake. When they're fake, bro, it's obvious, eh? And it's not something that you might think to yourself. If you're being fake, you might think to yourself that you're fooling people, but it's always clear as day, eh? Yeah. 100%. So healthy relationships obviously seems quite important to you. So key. And that's actually led you to grow as quickly as you have already so far. Yeah. I mean, your gym. Tell me about your gym gear, bro.
Bro, so literally in like when I finished up at my other job and then moved into my home gym, I had like nothing. So I think I had like a kettlebell and what else was in there? Oh, like skipping rope and maybe some bands.
A kettlebell skipping rope?
No, a kettlebell, a skipping rope.
Yeah.
A couple bands. And that was it. And then literally within like a week's time, people that I'd made relationships with through training them, etc. Like, bro, have this gear, have that gear.
Burning the fucking boats or what?
Yeah, bro.
You no job, a kettlebell, a skipping rope, and some what? Some bands.
Yeah, some bands. It's like, you know, those long ones. You just I had nothing. Yeah. So because I had nothing, I just kind of like, I knew some people had some gear from lockdown.
Yeah.
So lots of people went out and bought all the gear that they could, so that they'd have that the backup.
Yeah, right.
I just hit them up. So I know they're training at gyms, and I was just like, bro, could I just borrow your squat rack? Can I borrow this? Now I've got like almost, I would say, a fully kitted out home gym. So, you've been in it.
Yeah.
You know? Now I've got more mats.
Yeah.
I'm painting the ground. I've got like 3 more boxes, another whole, I think it's another like 150 kgs of weights as well. Fuck. Like 3 barbells, 4 or 5 assault bikes.
I've seen your stories, bro.
It's like so much shit in there.
When did I come? Like 3 weeks ago, maybe, and like how much has already changed since 3 weeks ago, bro. Yeah.
And like and that's the cool thing is like with these relationships, I don't own any of that stuff. Like I think I own the paint on the ground, 6 of the mats, and then that kettlebell and stuff. That's mine, and the rest is
what about the assault
else's.
bikes?
Oh, I bought those for potentially. So the other thing was that's relationships, right? So I had a mate that worked at 27. bro, can you help me out? I need some gear. And he was like, yeah, tell me what you need. And he got me a main discount off the bikes. I think it was like 250 or 300 off each bike. So
How much are they usually?
1,500. Yeah, for a bike. But you'll find that you won't get like better kind of quality bikes than that. Although they start getting under the grand mark after that, and
Yeah.
they're just not so much sought after. But yeah, so there's kind of like them. You've got the Echo bike, which is like a Rogue one,
Yeah.
and they use that in CrossFit and stuff. And then
You got the assaults, eh?
yeah, I got classic assaults.
Yes, that's the go-to, eh?
Yeah. There's a new one that's like it's assault as well. It's just another like variation of them. You know how they just create like Nike Zooms or whatever, Nike next version of the shoe. And that one's like 1,800 a pop. So, but I was just hit the classics, and they're like so smooth, so new, and like $300 less.
Have you used a watt bike before?
Yeah. That's another level way.
Bro, they're hard, eh?
Yeah.
That's
bro.
when I first went into the footy scene and that.
Yeah.
The watt bikes is like that's the thing you jam, and especially if you're injured. All the injured boys are just on the watt bikes doing off-feet conditioning. Fuck, you'd almost want to run over doing a watt bike. You'd think, oh, I'd rather jump on the bike. Nah, bro.
Yeah. It's no good, eh? I think the thing that's hard with those as well is just because you can see so much of the specific things that's coming out from your
the
power
data
output.
and that.
Yeah, like all the data specs just makes it
how
way worse.
even your like legs are
drives
going
and stuff. That's why it's good for injuries, right?
Yeah.
You can really see like where I am lacking, what I got to do more on this side versus that. So
have you been in a professional sports environment before?
Yeah. So I guess to an extent, like more semi-pro.
Yeah.
But they're pretty much the same when you get to that level because they're all feeding.
So you're league, eh?
Yeah, I did league. So I was in one. The young man's here. I did one with Falcons over in Aussie, and they feed Storm. So, So when I was in that, like, you know, you see the same stuff, and they're utilizing programming and stuff and coaching skills that they're trying to use. So they've got the same kind of systems.
So what comp is that?
That's the Queensland Cup.
Oh, the Q Cup.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Where's Falcons?
They're up in Sunshine Coast. Yeah.
That's weird, eh? That they feed the Storm.
Oh yeah.
I've heard of this though. I've heard of this.
I think
before.
it was the coaching though. So I think the coaching staff had like a foot in with them, and then when they came in to take over the Falcons, they like brought that with them, and then maybe
How's the Dolphins, bro? You see that?
Oh, that's pretty mean, eh?
But this guy, a mate of mine that I played for Waikato with.
Yeah.
Valence Tefare, bro.
Yeah.
He didn't even play. He played Heartland for King Country last year.
Oh, true.
Didn't even play NPC. Didn't play none of that.
Yeah.
And signed a top 30 contract for the Dolphins.
Bro, that's going to be pretty epic. That's a mean club too. Just even before they went into the NRL.
Yeah. Did you play them in that? You would have played against them?
No, I didn't play against them. But my boss when I was over there, he was the coach of them.
Oh, what?
So Adam Mogg. So he played like Queensland Maroons and that, played for the Raiders, etc. But then he opened, he took over the gym I was working at, and then I was working with him. So when I was playing league, I was kind of like, I was all right. And then I went and started working with him, and I was like, oh, can you watch my videos and help me run whatever? And so he kind of helped me tailor my stuff around that a bit better. But yeah, he was the coach of the Dolphins, I think when they won.
Sure.
So, and then he's been in there, and he actually stood down so Wayne Bennett could come in because he could have had an opportunity to stay there on the NRL.
What year was this that you were there?
I was there for about 6 years, but when I started working with him, it would have been about maybe 2016.
Because
started doing with him.
What sort of coin you get over in that Q Cup? So I heard some people actually get some more right coin.
I have no idea. I don't know. Yeah, some of them are on pretty good contracts, but then even the some of the guys in the inner country are on like mean contracts, and they just play like, what is it, country football? Yeah, they're like, and I think some of them were like on a K a week or something, just playing like in the country football and stuff. But I didn't contract to them. I went over to play, and then when I was playing, I just like went and trialed a couple of times, and then went into the system. But I didn't really play that much Q Cup because I was just pretty much injured the whole time. So I was like almost just in the squad all the time. Yeah. So you're just in the squad doing the training.
What were you injuring? Different things?
Bro. Most of the time it was just my knee. So before I went there, I was playing up in Auckland. Yeah. And like I played Fox. And then we went counties, and straight after that comp, I was like, oh, I'm going to Aussie now. I was like 22 or something. I'll just go play over there, do some mahi there. Yeah. And literally, like, I think it was a month before I went, I did my PCL on my knee. So then I was just like, oh, gonna go, like, I was going over, I was gonna do, like, I reckon I would have been, like, cracking it pretty well, because the level here with the contact is so much different to there. There it's much faster, but here there's just so much more contact, it's way physical. But then I did that, and so then it was just, like, set you back, and then you're just trying to, like, get in quicker. So, yeah, it was just kind of like a muck around the whole time. But, man, it was pretty mean footy over there.
Do you focus on, like, now with your PT knowledge and stuff on injury prevention and that?
Oh, heck yeah.
Like, what do you know more about now that if you knew back then, before you were doing your knees, what would you tell your younger self?
Before I did my knee?
Yeah, so, like, if you were to go into to prevent what happened to your knees, things that you didn't do before that you know now, you're like, fuck, if I had known that, then I would have done it.
I probably would have been more management. To be honest, like, something like a PCL popping or ACL, I think you can do so much prevention, but, you know, like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, when I did it, it was the way I landed. So I was playing sevens. So there's not even much contact in that.
Sevens?
Yeah, rugby sevens.
Oh, yeah.
And I got tackled and they had my ankle, and I just fell to my knees because I just couldn't keep going. So I was falling to my knees to go plant, you know, and then get rid of the ball.
Yeah.
But as I fell, I just landed straight on the knee. And then when I went to walk, it just was like the leg was disconnected. Because I fully ruptured it then and there. So I was like trying to run around and my leg was just kind of not coming with me.
Did you not notice?
No, I was
still playing, you did it?
And then I was like, oh, I think I need to come off. And she was like, oh, let me check on you. And she was like, there's like no PCL here. And I was like, what do you mean? And I was like jumping around, walking around and like squatting and stuff. And she was like, nah, you don't have a PCL. So yeah, I think the studies in that's different now. So sometimes they can like strap you up and you can play on. But it's the other one from the ACL, right? So the ACL is like, you don't want to screw that one up. But the PCL you can kind of work with.
Have you done your ACL?
No,
you didn't do your
ACL.
ACL.
The MCL on the same knee.
Oh,
which is the inside one. And that was from being tackled funny. So like...
Is PCL the back?
Yeah, so it stops
I've done the PCL. I haven't ruptured it, but I've hurt my PCL before.
Yeah. So I did that one and then... Yeah, you can hyperextend it and it pops out.
Yeah.
But it just makes it looser, and then I did the MCL. But they're both instances didn't happen from how I stepped or how I was moving. It was like external. So like that one was landing, the other one was like getting tackled in the knee on the side. So my foot was planted and I was wrestling in the stand up, and then someone just hit my knee. So it fucked up the MCL. But yeah, so like prevention wise, if I was to do it injury prevention wise, I think most guys are quite safe these days because of the way that they choose to train their athletes. They try to keep like a balanced system. They give you a periodization model that allows you to build strength in the right areas. Yeah. But I think that in that off-season period, you need to put a lot of emphasis on the areas that you know are weak. You know, and you kind of have to have the right person there to kind of direct you to what areas those might be. So like we know to figure out like, are you lacking in your glute strength? Are you lacking in your single leg strength? Are you lacking in your posterior chain, like, or parts of your posterior chain? So it's really like
give me an example of that. Like,
so like sometimes people, depending on like how they move and that, but they might not have a good chain that works together. So like maybe they got real strong glutes, or maybe they got real strong hammies, but they don't work well with the calf because they don't practice exercises where they can utilize the calf, hammy, and the glute, feel them working. You know? So it's like breaking that down and then having a look like how strong is your calf, or how much can it tolerate in terms of like if I add so much volume, can you go past like 20 calf raises and still be okay? Same with your like hammy as well. Like, can you do like a Nordic raise, or like how much? Because that's what they do a lot of seven skills as well at the moment. Yeah, because they test the hammies out because obviously they're sprinting so much playing the sevens and long distance. Sprinting. They test the hammies to see like how much power and force it can produce. Yeah. And then they can see like the differences or imbalances between both sides as well. And so then they'll test that too. And then, you know, they can create like a personalized plan around just doing those things, more rehab on certain things. And
is there something, a weakness that you notice in a lot of athletes?
Yeah.
One in particular?
I definitely notice a lot of athletes with like weak hammies or tight hammies.
Okay.
And so like if you chuck someone on the Nordic, right? GHD, and they try to do like a Nordic raise and they come up and their hammies just feel like they're gonna rip off the bone. Yeah. So like that's like a pretty clear indication that hammies are just not that strong. Yeah. You know? But maybe they work good as a system when they're contracting at the same time as other muscle groups. You know, so like if I'm sprinting, maybe I rely more on like my glute or something, or maybe I rely on my leg as a whole to move.
Yeah.
But if I want to try like prevent stuff,
that's how injuries would happen, right? Overloading into
so.
areas?
Yeah, overloading areas that are not used to being overloaded.
Yeah.
You know, because like how many programs have you done where you're just like your focus is just like purely isolated hammy? You know, probably not a lot.
No.
It's probably more like you'll do RDL or a deadlift where you're like using it as a multi-joint exercise, but not doing so much isolated stuff.
Yeah, they actually down in Wellington, they do not heaps, but a fair amount of like Nordic drops in there.
Yeah.
But again, that's always the weakest thing out of everything. Like you wouldn't see anyone that could go down fully and come back up. Like that's pretty rare to see that in a rugby scene. To be able to, like Quade Cooper, you've seen that he can do it, but like not a lot can do that.
Yeah.
But they can bench fucking 150.
Exactly. You know. And then I guess if you were looking at it from like a S&C, working with your physios and your whole team in a team environment, you'd be trying to look at all of the actions that they do in the game, and then like what are the most reoccurring injuries. You know, so like, okay, we're gonna just target our training around that. So like I've worked with Kate Nedera, who's the Sevens physio, All Black Sevens physio, and she's amazing, and she does something like that, and they had like a whole bunch of injuries. They were all the same injury at the start of I think it was the start of last year, or somewhere through last year, and it's all the recurring same injury through all of the team. I think it was like hammies or something like that. Sorry, Kate, I probably said the wrong thing, but but the point was that they were doing something wrong in their training, or maybe their recovery. They were getting the same thing. And then I think that's where it comes into play, is like, what are your guys' actions throughout the week? You know, like how many times are you focusing on recovery? How many times are you focusing on weights? How much field meters running are you doing? You know, like all of these things. So because there's like a fine line between doing 20 meters too much, you know, and 100 meters not enough.
Yeah, right.
Trying to load them the right way, and then that's why like all that testing helps a lot. The analysis can help you to see like, are they doing enough? Are they not doing enough? Are they recovering enough?
Right.
You know. In
terms of recovery, one of the he say she say things that I always hear now is hot colds. Hot
colds, yeah.
Do you believe in them? Do you think that they help recover?
Oh yeah, definitely. So, excuse me. So some of the things that I've read through, because I try to like figure out like what's the benefits of doing colds, and when you're an athlete, right? So you've been down that track. It's all about doing the least amount of work for the most amount of gain. So I don't want to be training all the time, and you know, like I'd rather just be resting, taking care of my body, training bare amount, and then getting the mean gain so that I can go and play really well. Because it's all about just your performance on the day. So if you think of it that way, then if you don't have the time to be doing those things, you're doing other things, is it really beneficial for you? Probably not. But if you do have the time, then I'll definitely do like pretty much every type of recovery, as long as you create a pattern out of it.
Yeah.
You know, so like that consistent pattern is the thing that's going to give you the best.
So doing the same thing.
Often works. But
not like, so what you mean, like say one day you do hot colds, another day you
doing something else, and then
it doesn't help as much.
Not on my experience. Yeah. But it depends. There might be your pattern too. Is this like one day is hot and colds, one day is this. But then the week after you do the same thing.
Yeah, right? Do you know why that is?
I think it's the adaptations to those stimuli.
Yeah.
So everything's like you provide the body with a stimuli, and then it adapts accordingly. But if you have too much stimuli, then it can't adapt.
Yeah. Okay.
So you've got to have consistent stimuli over time. Give yourself like 4 weeks blocks.
Yeah.
And then you adapt to that, and then you can create a new one. In terms of hot and cold stuff that I read with the colds, is most of the time cold water seem to just provide catering to muscle soreness.
Yeah. Oh, right.
So, but that's also a good effect, because where I would use it is in tournament style stuff. Yeah. And the reason why is because if I feel sore, I usually perform accordingly. Yeah. But if I don't feel sore, then I'll probably perform much better.
Yeah, right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like if you're just gonna have like hot and colds or colds after just training, it's probably not as beneficial. There's also studies to show that please don't quote me on this. This is all my personal experience and stuff that I've read. But there's also some studies to show that it can mess with the satellite cells, which are important for muscle building. So when you damage a muscle, then you get the satellite cells to the area, and then they help to rebuild or help the muscle recover, so that it comes back stronger and better. But if you add cold water to that, depending how cold, say like freezing cold,
Yeah.
then you can mess with that and it stops your gains.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I said hot colds, are they helpful? You said yes. Your answer to me sounds like no.
Well, I think yes and no. And the reason why is because I think it's where you put them, you know?
Yeah.
So tournaments, yeah, definitely. I want to use colds, definitely. And
Yeah.
you can use hot colds because you could get that
What's the difference between just colds and hot colds?
I think from the stuff that I've read is that one is so that you get the vasoconstriction and dilation, and
Yeah.
the belief is that you'll get more blood flow through the body.
Right.
So they're more distal areas of the body, like throughout your like hands and your feet and stuff. So it pushes that's the belief behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And then colds that I've read is just like it's just for muscle soreness most of the time. Yeah, like there's some stuff to say that it does help with other areas like your immune system and that. But to be honest, I don't know too much about that. But personally, I could probably vouch for that in my experience. So I do cold showers through the winter, outside.
So I seen that this morning. Is that
Yeah.
is that a cold shower?
Yeah, there's a cold shower. Yeah. So
Jesus.
this morning wasn't too cold, but in the winter it drops to like 3 degrees or 4 degrees, and it's cold. And I'll try like 8 to 15 minutes. It depends on what time I have in the morning.
Shit.
You just stand there. I think you can do that, or you can do it just like submerged. I know another guy that does it, and he used to train. I think he used to be S&C for the Warriors.
Yeah.
And he jumps like just into a bucket of ice water
Yeah.
up to here, and just has his beanie on. He just sits there for 12 minutes. Yeah. But when I did it last year, through the whole entire winter, I just didn't get sick the whole time. So for myself personally, in my experience, my family at the time got sick on 3 different occasions, and I was in the house with them each time. They got like gastro, the flu, just like viruses and stuff, and like
And
I was
you
there the
didn't
whole
get
time.
it?
Yeah, like my daughter, I remember one night she projectile vomited like pretty much all over me, and my missus got it, my son got it, like the gastro, and I just didn't get it. So I don't know if it was to do
Yeah,
with my
right.
immune function was better, because there's quite a few people that believe that if you do cold, like really, really cold for a certain amount of time, and I think it's got to be over 8 minutes or something. That's why I choose 8 to 15, that you actually improve your immune
Do
function.
you feel like before doing those cold showers, like you would have got sick, or do you think you just have a strong immune system already?
Yeah, I think so, because I used to get quite sick. And
Right,
I've had all
okay.
of those things before as well. But then because I was doing a 100-day challenge, and it was just every day through the winter to have a cold shower in the start of the day, and had to be at least 8 minutes. So, bro, it was cold.
Have you seen another way some people use the cold water in that, like, I think even like that, is that Wim Hof and stuff?
Yeah, with the breathing.
For the breathing. That would be quite helpful way, because
Yeah.
putting your body under like stress
Yeah.
and like panic mode and being able to focus on your breathing.
But it's really hard. I
Yeah.
try to do it in the shower. So when I was doing my showers, because some mornings were like 3 degrees and you're out there and it's already freezing, and you know, like even when I'm in there, as soon as I hop in, so I get out of bed, go straight outside, turn the shower on, and then I hop in and steam comes off me. That's how cold it is.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
so like you have to breathe. You've got to breathe. That's kind of the only way you can stay in there.
Yeah.
Otherwise you just feel like you're just gonna kind of like start shivering too much, and yeah.
Do you focus on anything? Like, do you
Mainly
use
I try to use the breathing, so nasal breathing. So have you heard of Manava breathing before?
Yeah, I have actually.
Yeah, I try to use some of their stuff with just the
All
breathing.
through,
so
in and out through the nose. Eh?
yeah. It's real hard though, because sometimes I'll sit under with my,
With your head under.
so I just sit fully on the ground, just because I want my whole body to
You're a
get cold.
weirdo, eh? I can just imagine you too. I'll just come around the back of your house and you'll just be sitting there like.
bro, it's so cold, man.
Have you seen Coach Troy Savage
Yes.
online?
Yeah.
Do you do any of his stuff?
I started doing some of his stretch routines for a little bit, but I just I never had a program from him, and then I kind of just got sidetracked. I'm one of those people that just kind of like tries not to get distracted.
Yeah.
So at the meantime, with the training that I've been doing, I've like actually been quite proud of myself because I've been sticking to it. But
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got some awesome stuff. So
Yeah.
was it Te Honui? Do you know Te Honui, the tattoo artist?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does his
Oh,
stuff. He
yeah.
does Troy stuff.
Mobility is something that I want to try and nail this year, bro.
Yeah,
And I feel like that's good for injury prevention.
definitely.
Having more mobility around your joints, ability to
Yeah.
move into awkward positions. Is that right?
Definitely, yeah. I definitely think it's to do with moving into awkward positions, but I also think it's load tolerance, you know? So
Right.
you got to think like when when people do their ACL, a lot of times because the way that they land and then they move, and then it pops, right? And if so a lot of the time it's because of they can't tolerate the load in those positions.
Right.
So it's trying to get you to awkward positions and then managing the load in those positions as well. So yeah, mobility is good, but then loaded mobility is good as well. And I don't think it has to be a lot. It's just the tolerance under fatigue.
Yeah. Okay.
So you got to think like if I'm halfway through a game, I'm starting to get tired. That's where the injuries start to happen. Is when you're tired and you do something wrong, or you move into a position wrong, or you don't hit the contact with as much force as you were hitting it at the start of the game.
Yeah.
So like working under fatigue is important.
Low reps. Low reps, heavy weight.
Yeah.
Versus high reps, lower weight.
Yeah.
What's the difference in terms of like what that does for you in terms of strength?
All that stuff is ability to tolerate volume, right? So if I've got real heavy weight for me, so if I'm lifting like close to my 1RM, I just won't be able to do a lot of volume with that weight, right? And it'll take me a long time to get the volume that I wanted to, say, build muscle or not really build strength, but mainly just like build muscle or get some kind of adaptation from doing it that way. So when I do, because it's kind of gone out the window that high reps, low weight is the best way to get hypertrophy. So have you heard of Jake Tura? Oh, you should look at his stuff. So he does mainly basketball, but he has a book on hypertrophy. And I think he uses, it's like 6'5" or something. So it can't be 6'5". I think it's like 6x8 or something like that. So that's not really high reps, right?
Yeah.
But the load, if you get the load right for that particular exercise and then 6 sets of that, so the only thing that's changing really is the volume. So how much of it you're doing.
So which one's hypertrophy? Both of them?
So hypertrophy nowadays is just looked at how much volume you would do, so doing more volume. So technically you can use strength type reps. Yeah. But if I was going to do strength type reps, if everyone could probably agree anything between 1 and 5 or 1 and 8 is strength based. Yeah. And I wanted to make it more hypertrophy, then I need to change the load slightly and how many sets I do.
Okay.
Because like if I do strength, right, on average, a 5x5, for example. So you're like 25 reps out of that. Yeah. At 75 to 85% of your 1RM to build your strength over like four or so weeks. Yeah. But if I change that to 10 sets, and I'm still doing 5s, now I'm getting 50 reps. Yeah. But I'm going to have to change the load to be able to have the ability to do those 50 reps the way that I want to do them without changing the range or something like that to make it easier.
So what actually, develops hypertrophy?
It'll be the volume, total volume.
So
how much you're doing, how much frequency is going into the type of stuff. That's why when people are like asking for like a 4-day program, mainly like a 5 to 6 day program to do hypertrophy, it's probably better to just do like a 3-day program or even just a one type of program that you just repeat a few times a week. Yeah. So that you're getting that frequency of those movements. Right. Okay. Because total volumes are what's going to give you that growth, because you're going to get used to that movement.
Reps and weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's volume.
Reps. Reps times weight times sets is your total volume. Okay. Yeah, so that's how you want to get it over the week. So if I want to be improving exercises, I've got to do 2 to 3 times at least of that exercise in a week, and then every week. So if I'm just like back squatting like once, I'm probably not going to build strength. I'll probably just keep maintenance. But that's why it's good to switch to something like that in season. Yeah, I don't really need to build strength. I'd rather maintenance, because I've got to focus more on like power output and my ability to create force quickly, my rate of force development. So yeah, that's why when we get to off season, we try to just give you very simple shit and just like a lot.
Something you talked about with that power one you gave me, and I did the first session this morning, is just changing what your intent is. Yep. That's a good, so run over that. Right.
Man, I'm a big believer that there's no perfect program.
Yep.
And the program's purpose changes by your understanding how to do the movements to affect the end result, right? Well, in my opinion and in my experience, it's all about how you decide to move the weight. But that really comes from like what the purpose of the session is each time. So the purpose of your sessions at the moment is to try and get you into a routine with understanding how your body works and recovers when you do a power session. So
Yep.
you want to try and make sure that you manipulate the session by doing things explosive and being aware of moving the weight a specific way. And I feel like that you can do that with any kind of program. So albeit like it has to probably not be stuff that's got lots of isolated movements. Like you probably don't want to do like bicep curls with intent, or you know like anything that's isolated movements. Car phrases of intent. Faster, my uppercuts.
But when you're doing talking about intent and speed and that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
if you're trying to be powerful and explosive movements,
yeah,
say like you're doing trap bar deadlifts or whatever,
yeah,
the slow down, controlled down, fast up.
yeah.
Is that something you would do, or is it fast?
Probably slow. Yeah,
Slow, fast. And what's the why?
Well, most of the time it's just so that you can keep the control, so that when you change into that transitional period that small transitional period between changing from going down to going up,
Yeah.
so you can really focus on producing a lot of force. Because most of the time you're going to be producing force with like a concentric behavior, right? So like
define concentric, please.
Well, concentric is just when you move load away from the ground, right?
Yeah.
So like if I'm producing power, I'm pushing my foot down into the ground to move the load, which is my body, away from the ground.
Yeah.
And then if I'm trying to produce that, then I'm probably not going to be really worried about the eccentric phase, which is just the opposite of that, is moving load back down toward the ground.
Okay.
So yeah, so when I say eccentric, so like for example, if I'm pushing something away, technically it's not concentric, but if I'm like creating an action, it's always going to be like when I move my arm rather than like a retract my arm.
Oh yeah, right. Okay.
I mean? So
you're not gonna go fin.
yeah. Like maybe
that.
to an extent, like maybe a puncher, maybe a boxer when they punch, you know, like they're retracting their hand. They need to be fast when they do that to hold their guard. But most of our actions in sport, it's always the production of power. Like even if you're doing a side step, it's slow then fast.
Yeah.
You know, and then after that, you're trying to be fast. And so it's the same with like your movements. And also because you're focusing on producing power, it's always going to be that concentric phase, which is away from the ground.
Do you use supplements?
Oh, I love supplements.
And is it important?
I think so, yeah. I definitely think so for people that are doing a lot, right? So if you're training a lot, I think it can help quite a bit, especially because otherwise you have to try and draw on the nutrients from your food.
Yeah.
You know? So you have to rely on eating the right food groups to get those things. So for people like ourselves who do lots of weights training, and then we do lots of cardio as well, like you're running on the field, you want to maintain your muscle mass, so you've got to eat a certain amount of protein.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So like you're not going to get all that protein just from eating meat and probably protein alternatives most of the time. So you got to have like some other version, and that's why they've got powders.
I've heard there's something about your body can only process a certain amount of protein in a day. Do you know how much that is?
I don't want to get into that, to be honest, because I don't want to like speculate. It'll be speculating, So right. I don't know. Yeah.
Have you heard that though?
I have. Yeah. Oh well, no. The one I heard was in a time frame. So like if you're eating more than like 15 to 20 grams in one sitting, that's gonna be if you're eating more than that. Apparently, according. I heard. Do you know Lane Norton, BioLane? Have a look. Look him up, people. At BioLane.
Bella, turn your mic off.
That is
number 3.
Yeah, but it's like fading.
What do you mean?
Oh, like sometimes you talk and then it just drops off and then.
No, like look, when I switch to your camera. Oh, well, it's done that like for 5 minutes.
All right. Well, it's just like fades into, so like if she changes the camera from you to me, it like fades to
it's
me.
Not cut.
Yeah.
Mean
She had it on
transitions,
fade, not cut.
Mean transitions.
Oh my god, I'm so.
According to YouTube, you don't want to use that type of transition. You want straight cuts. Apparently.
Actually?
Yeah, like they say don't use transitions so much anymore. Like, you know, like the fancy
Oh, that's what we do, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All we do is cut.
I mean, that's what I mean. Cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bow.
No fading.
People don't want to wait.
Nah, bro.
Next, swipe up.
And I reckon it looks like not budget,
Soap
but it
opera.
looks weird, eh? This looks weird, like fading into different things.
Yeah.
Fuck, here's me talking, like the last 5 minutes is going to be there. Grateful.
It's faded.
Shout out to Bella, she's on her last strike before she gets fired.
Wait, the camera's like way too high above your head.
Oh.
Just one sec.
What other
Yeah,
supplements do you take?
At the moment, I am taking creatine. Drift. Sounds like drifting.
Open the window too. All right,
That's
literally.
what I sound like when I
I
take my
opened it for
creatine.
Rome to look out of it.
You're on 2.5 strikes.
Poor fella. Yeah, I just take creatine. What else am I taking? Beta alanine.
So what creatine is it just for recovery or is it also for like? Does it make you look bigger as well? Is that true? Because it holds
Well,
more water in your
Yeah. So you're supposed to weigh more as well.
right.
Yeah. So you got to be careful when you take, especially if you're in a cut sport, right? So if you're
Yeah.
like, you're gonna cut weight and stuff, you just got to be careful of your consumption. You can add up to, I think it said like a couple of kgs in like a couple of days. It's real
Shit.
quick, yeah. But it's good. It's good. I've really had some good changes by taking creatine. I don't know how much of it for me is placebo. So I don't know how much of it I'm just thinking that like, oh, this is working.
Yeah.
But
what does he think it works? What do you think it's doing for you?
Oh, for me, I just feel like it's allowing me to do more. So it's kind of like your poor man's anabolic steroid,
Right.
in a way. Yeah.
Yeah,
So So for me, that's how I feel.
Recovery.
Like. Yeah. So recovery, those smaller recovery periods.
Yeah.
So to buffer up your ATP quicker, and then I take beta alanine, which has like I guess it's kind of like a similar effect in terms of recovery.
Yeah.
That's the one that when you take it, and it's in a lot of pre-workouts, and it makes you feel like you've got like
Oh, the tingles.
tingles. Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah.
meth user. I gave it to this one
Have
guy.
you used meth?
Only a couple of times. No, I gave it to this one guy at a gym, and he had never had like pre-workout before, but he had told me like, oh, I'm really tired and stuff. I was like, oh, have you tried one of these? But I had been taking pre-workout for a while, so I
Yeah.
guess I was didn't have the same stimulus. But he was like literally like this through the workout.
No
and I was
way.
like, you're all right. He was just like, what did you give me? And I was like, oh, it's got beta alanine and it just pushes the blood out.
So
just
it acts
feels
like,
something.
it acts as a pre-workout as well, right?
Well, people have it in their pre-workout, yeah. But you can take it, you can stack it. So if you guys
So
wanna
it's
know
not
more-
pre-workout or what?
Well, it's not like caffeine and stuff. Pre-workout technically is just caffeine, and then they add things like taurine and that to give you that boost,
Okay.
that energy boost, right?
Bit alanine.
Beta alanine is something that you can actually stack like creatine, so you don't actually have to have it pre-workout. You can
Yeah.
just have it throughout the day.
Oh yeah.
And if you want to check out this, so you can get a word for word description, go to examine.com and type in whatever supplement you want to know about, and they actually have research studies connected to it. So you don't have to listen to me and my dumbed down version of it. There's actually like a smart person but you can go to, so examine.com is where I go to find out everything about anything.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can type in every single supplement into there, and most of the time they'll have that supplement, all the research behind that supplement, and why you could use it, and yeah. So
Hey, do you know that supplement that you use for like elasticity in your? I can't remember what it's called. Do you know what elasticity is? You know how? Fuck, I'm gonna lose myself here. Yeah, when you know how when you go back and say you haven't been training for a while and you go back into training, or like you go back into a preseason, and your first day, you go back in the second day and you're sore as fuck.
yeah, you're
But then
DOMS,
like after a couple of weeks, each session you go in the next day, you don't feel as bad because your body's like become accustomed to it.
Yeah.
Apparently that was something. It has something to do with elasticity building in your. I think it's elasticity building in your muscles.
Okay.
Wow, I'm
Ooh,
teaching the PT
sweet.
guy. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I want
is-
some of that.
There's a supplement that
Is
helps.
this-
This is from Sports Fuel. These are the guys from Sports Fuel.
I was
Yeah.
gonna ask that.
Yeah, so there's one that he takes every day for this. So it helps your muscles get that same feeling of what they would do if you were to like get back into training and your muscles to get used to it. This
Right.
supplement allows your
So
muscles to do that
Your
easier.
recovery period's shorter?
Yeah, so it's all about recovery and
yeah.
feeling good after training, like
Yeah.
heavy training loads and stuff.
So that's DOMS you're talking about, right?
I don't know.
Delayed onset muscle soreness. So
Yeah, that one.
So DOMS is
Yeah.
what occurs when you get a new stimuli.
Yeah,
Like say you've never squatted ever, and
Yeah.
then I'd get you to do squats, and they're quite heavy. And it's what happens is you get progressive overload. So your body, there's a graph for it, and it shows you do the activity and you get a stimuli, and your body goes down into this position. It super compensates and then goes back up, and that's where you get the adaptation, and now you can tolerate more.
right.
So that's what happens when you get DOMS, and because of that happening, with your DOMS you've got to be careful because they're in a recovery state during that time that allows you to create things that are going to allow adaptations, and then that's why you'll go. So like DOMS is a good thing, and what you don't want to do is block DOMS, right? So when I say that, what I mean is like you don't want to take painkillers for DOMS,
Right.
because it needs that's the stimulus for the body so that it gets a response.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then we get the response, and then the response is the adaptation. And
Do you
you get stronger or fitter.
so
whatever it
by
is.
not feeling the soreness, you won't get the same result?
To an extent, but it really depends on what's happening inside. So sometimes people don't get the same type of DOMs, but they'll still get like a little bit sore.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so and it's usually depends on how trained an individual is.
Okay.
So if I'm, for example, we've been training. So if we go do maybe if we do a new move. So I don't know if I've been giving you Bulgarian split lunges. You've done those before?
Yes, and I fucking
Really
hate
hard,
them.
right?
They're like the worst thing out
And
in
you
the
usually
gym.
get DOMs from it,
Yeah.
right? Because you haven't been doing something. So I give you something like that. Maybe if it's light enough, you won't get that same type of progressive overload to create the stimulus. But if it's heavy or too heavy, you're going to get DOMs.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So, but that's when you don't want to block that. So you kind of need that pain, because that's the thing that's creating the stimulus to get a response.
Right.
But I'm not sure what that supplement is, and I don't know if it acts the same way as a painkiller.
Yeah.
You know, so, and don't quote me on this, 'cause I'm not a doctor, but apparently if you're taking painkillers and stuff, then they block your ability to create that stimulus or to create a response to that stimulus.
Yep. Okay.
Write down in the comments below if that's right or wrong if you're a doctor.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
Is it true that you burn almost more calories by doing like a heavy weight session, or not by heavy I mean like high load weight session, as opposed to like conditioning? You know, people would be like, I have to run, I have to do cardio to lose fat or to burn calories.
Yeah. I think this is a hard one, because that's so individual.
Yeah.
You know, because let's use Ayla for example. So she just told me that she hasn't been doing any exercise.
Yeah.
Versus you, right? So you've been doing exercise. If you went and did a cardio session, you're probably gonna burn more calories than what she would do, because you have a higher tolerance to last longer. You know, so your fatigue's not gonna come on as fast as what hers probably will for the same type of session.
Right. Okay.
So you're likely to probably burn more calories in that session than she would,
because you put more output, because you're
able to continuously put output for the whole cardio session.
Right.
And it would probably be similar if you did a weight session. So I think what you need to know is burning calories from a set session is not going to give you like what you're actually trying to get.
Yeah.
You know? So like when people measure their calories from a session, it's all individual based.
Yeah.
But I guess what you want to do is you want to build strength, because strength is an indicator of building muscle.
Yeah.
And muscle will burn more calories by existing when you're not doing anything.
Right.
You're not having much muscle, right? And people like endurance athletes, and the reason why they're so skinny, because this is probably the thing that people are like, oh, but what about endurance athletes? They're like always skinny and always ripped.
Yeah.
But they do so much, you know, that it's pretty much like, for example, Michael Phelps. You know, I guess he'd probably be a power / endurance / power endurance athlete.
Yeah.
You know, but he's not a weightlifter.
Yeah.
But he's ripped, and he eats plus 8,000 calories a day when he was training.
Yeah.
So he's not really focusing on that, but his overall output over time. So what was it? How much did he swim a day? He swam like 80,000 miles in 1 week, every week or something. It's insane amounts.
What?
Yeah. So, that's a high output of energy. Versus like someone like yourself and me, we might burn like 400 calories in a weights workout.
Yeah.
We're going to create more muscle than probably what he needs or what he has, just because we're doing more weight stuff. So we're going to probably burn more calories doing stuff. But see, then there's another argument for like if you do HIIT training, you get, what is it called? EPOC, post-exercise oxygen consumption. Have you heard of that?
Nope.
So if you do like a real heavy session, then every hour after hour you burn like more calories
I've heard
for
that,
24 hours or something, or 21 hours. So you'd burn like 12 extra, and you get compound effect of calories burned after a session like that.
Less and less. Or
No, it's the same, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
I think it's like 12 extra every hour. You know, but that's more over 20 hours.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
By the time you get to 20 hours, 200 more over the day or something.
Yeah.
But that's where people get lost in the thing, is they think, okay, I'll just work this so they get the EPOC, and then, I'm burning more calories throughout the day because I've trained real hard.
Yeah.
But what you don't get from doing HIIT all the time is you don't necessarily build strength. Like you get to a plateau.
Right.
We want to keep building strength, or keep working on our power, because it allows us tolerance. So if we could change everyone's perspective on strength and these types of workouts to be more around, I'm not trying to just build muscle, but I'm just trying to build tolerance as well.
Yeah.
Then when it comes to doing the HIIT session, my performance is going to be much better. You ever seen like a strong guy just come and just absolutely smash the HIIT workout? You know, his movements are all great, or her movements are all great when they come and do like a bout session or something. And they don't actually do that session very often. They actually train a different way.
Yeah,
So most of the
yeah,
time
right.
they train in the gym. They're doing their weight session, maybe a couple cardio sessions a week, but it's all focused around their weights workouts.
Yeah.
And then they'll come and they'll do a HIIT session here, or maybe like F45 or something. And they'll be sweet. Like sure, they'll come out and they'll be sweating out the ringer and everything like that. But the way they move the whole time, how explosive they were, how many reps they were able to get is way more than the average person.
Yeah, yeah,
Because their tolerance is much better.
yeah.
You
Okay.
know, so you need like an even balance between the two, and that's where I think a lot of the general pop gets lost, is they just feel like, oh, I just keep smashing myself off, hit,
Yeah.
but I'm not getting the strength that I need as well. So you need like a little bit of hit and a little bit of strength, and you need to use strength to create more tolerance.
Jesus. Okay.
That's how I think.
Tell me about your business right now.
Yeah, my business?
Before we wrap this all up,
yo,
I'll like what you're doing now. What sort of services you provide?
Yep.
This is your time to give yourself this plug
a little plug
to get people in
Thanks,
and involved in what you're doing yourself right now.
Yeah. Oh, it's quite a lot, but I guess to cut it all down to some like bite-sized chunks. At the moment, I'm doing a lot of online. So with my online, I offer personalized programs, and that's for people that do anything. So I love training athletes.
Yep.
I love training general pop. But then I also have a background training pregnant women as well. Through the
Saw
whole
that.
way.
That's-
So
That's cool.
yeah,
Fuck,
through
that's cool.
mums and stuff. And that was like just purely luck that I
Yeah.
got involved in that when I was in Australia. So I did mums. I think I've trained about at least 10 mums from before pregnancy to after pregnancy.
Oh wow.
Which is quite a lot,
Yeah.
you know, if you think like the whole way through. And then
Yeah.
I've trained like countless others at a portion of it. So like they'd come in at 30 weeks or
Yeah.
after they'd had baby and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So that's another area that I cater to as well with my programming. And then I also run a mums class 3 times a week. And I run a generic program as well that focuses on the structure that will help you build that tolerance. So 3 times a week we do weights, a couple times a week we do cardio.
So
and
that's
8
just
bucks
like a.
week.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah, that's a generic one. Yeah.
So how many times a week do you train on that?
For the generic one?
Yeah.
There's 6 sessions you can come to, or you can do online, sorry.
6 sessions
Yep.
for $8 a week.
$8 a week. Yeah.
Fuck, that's mean.
Yeah,
bro.
it's pretty cool too because I'm allowed to program it myself. I create a periodization behind it. So we'll have a strength phase, a power phase, a hypertrophy phase. And just all of that stuff that we use, it leads on to the next thing. So you do strength, so you
Yeah.
build a foundation for power. You
Yeah.
do power and build a foundation onto the next thing, and then you go back to hypertrophy and work on your movements. And
Yeah.
so there's like purpose behind it still. It's not just random programming.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and then I just read a ultimate power move. That's what Carlos is doing at the moment, UPM.
Is that what it stands for?
Yeah, ultimate power move.
Yeah.
It's a 6-week program, and I'm training an actor in Canada at the moment. He's going
wow.
for a big role, so we're trying to get him
But
shredded.
what's his name?
Tim Mapare Hodson. Shout out to Tim.
Ah,
But,
but is he like known or?
Like maybe over there.
Oh, yeah,
He had
yeah.
a little spot on Paw Patrol, bro.
No.
Oh, crack on me.
That's
He
where
did a
you know him from,
voiceover.
eh?
Bro, that's how I
The
found him.
countless mornings of Paw Patrol.
Oh, man. But yeah, so I'm training him on a shred program at the moment, and yeah, it's pretty out of it. Some stuff I haven't done for a long time, but
Yeah.
it's a 12-week program that once I've completed it fully, then that'll be available as well for people that want to do something like that.
Man,
And I'm
12-week
about
shred
to-
program.
Yeah, 12-week shred. Yeah. But it works the same way, you know. Like we've got a strength phase, and we work into hypertrophy, then strength, then
Yeah.
we'll shred. And I'm about to start training a guy that does stuff on stage. So the little
Oh yeah.
one of my good mates.
The
So
little-
the pop and the little undies and whatnot.
All the golden paint.
Holy, what shows was that on?
Oh, what?
Explore.
Are we talking about something different?
What? The yeah, I know what you mean. The tan stuff.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
is that? Is that the show you're talking about though?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
like,
What's it called? Bodybuilding.
Yeah, I think it's
Body sculpting.
There's heaps of different names, like categories,
Oh,
right?
right.
Yeah, but I guess that's like the main stuff. So you can
Yeah.
find us online at the Collective Training Instagram.
And you do your you said you do PTA.
Yeah,
What's that sort
I
of
do a
cost?
bit of personal training as well. So it's like $50 for a 40-minute session.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have a few different options off there as well. But that's starting to fill up, eh?
Is it?
Quite a few people jumping on.
Well, I
board.
guess it's pretty hard because if it's just you at the moment and you got one
Yeah.
spot,
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
only a certain amount you can actually do.
But stay tuned, guys. Oh, I also do a YouTube channel. And the reason I
Yeah.
started that is because
That's good, bro.
Have you watched some?
Yeah,
of
I've been
them?
watching them. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Oh, bro.
Not
That
all
makes
of
me
them,
feel
but I've
cool.
watched them.
No, even if just one of them. But I made that because I want to try to provide like more and more content around the fitness industry to people.
Yeah.
You know? So that's why there's like.
I think the
much
good thing
videos
about
on
it
this
too is like there is a fair bit out there in that area, like in the fitness and health industry.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not very much that's relatable and like easily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're very very good communication to people that don't completely understand
Yeah, yeah.
how it works,
Yeah.
like the way you articulate your words and the way that you say it and your tone and just anything like that
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
is very easy to listen to.
Yeah.
I think that's
Oh, thank you.
wild to good, bro.
Let's hope so.
It's already growing,
Yeah, it's growing slowly, but yeah, just hopefully people get something out of it. Really.
100%. All right, thanks for your time, brother. Appreciate you.
Mean as. Thank
Keep
you.
doing you.
Mean.
I
Cheers,
guess-
Kazi. Arepa.